Wow. So before you finish some of the story, did you understand what burnout was at that moment? Did you understand what had happened physically, mentally to your body?
I knew I had pushed myself to a level of exhaustion that my body could no longer heal from. What I didn't appreciate was how much damage stress was doing to my body. And I didn't have I lived in Switzerland in a city where burnout was mentioned probably in every other conversation, but you never think it's going to happen to you. You never think that's what it is. I put all mine down to my migraines having gone chronic, but migraines going chronic, as in they're more than 15, 16 days a month, is down to other factors. And those are hormonal changes that happen when your body is under constant stress. You go back to when we lived in caves, when we foraged for food, our DNA is not much different to that now. And all of the things that we have to deal with stress were from a time when our stress would be maybe those 5 minutes that we were running away from a saber-toothed tiger as it chased us up a tree. And as long as we got safe, our body could then reset. We'd probably sit around the fire, chew on a drumstick of something, and body would replenish. People would tell stories, and life went on. But today, we tend to have those stressful periods more often than not. We're trying to do marathons on genetics that were made for doing sprints. Our bodies being under stress 24 hours a day, 7 days a week is not what our bodies were built for. And so it's those little things that you find, and we'll talk about them later, that actually allow you to break that cycle of stress that helps you recover from burnout. And once you know those in advance, means you shouldn't burn out in the first place.
That's, it's interesting. Lorianne, we've had some other really incredible speakers here that have come to understand the psychology of things, right? And it's interesting how we put ourselves in situations that we don't even realize is bringing us back to this primal aspect of how we would respond, right? And we're thinking, you talk about a saber tooth, Sarah, but we don't have saber. We're not being chased by saber tooths, right? But the mind doesn't know the difference from the stress that it does in ourself, right? And you were talking about this shame and this attack to yourself and this, loss of self-worth. And it's interesting because I learned recently that another interesting piece about the brain is that the brain, when we pull out memories that are bad and we speak negatively in ourselves, it doesn't know the difference between a memory or if it's current. So we put ourselves through that emotional pain all over again. Like we just pull ourselves right back into that. And the damage is huge, right? It's enormous.
Our brain is only working on two questions. Am I safe? Or can I get safe? Yeah. And whether that's from a saber-toothed tiger chasing us up a tree, or whether that's the boss hounding you with a deadline, or road rage because you've got to pick the kids up from soccer practice, all of these things come down to the same thing. Am I safe? Can I get safe? And when I'm safe and the body understands that you are, then it can stop producing cortisol, adrenaline, and all the stress hormones.
Lorianne, you looked like you were gonna make a comment. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. I feel like with all the demands, and especially the past few years, like the stress levels have like let's just say, for example, it's at this level and we just get used to it. So then we add on something else and it's like, okay, I have to get used to this level. And I don't even think that we even realize that we are constantly, shall I say, raising the bar on our tolerance for stress. And, that's not to glorify stress by any means, because it's still doing havoc on us internally, like Sarah's been sharing with us. But I think just our tolerance tolerance, like, and it could also just be like, we're looking around at other people because we, like we're watching them and like, oh, well, they're able to do all of these things.
For
so
now.
I should be able to do all of these things. We're judging people's, their front stage, and we have no idea what's really going on, internally or even in their mind by themselves, but we, like we're constantly making interpretations about this.
What would you say, Sarah, the Instagram life?
The Instagram life. Yeah. You would have no idea that behind those pictures of me always going with champagne in business class was somebody who had no idea where she was most of the time.